good morning to you, and welcome to the Camnet Breakfast. I'm your host. My name is Precious Mzea Sakaleji, and yes, of course, I'm not alone in set. I'm with my counterpart, like Bomani Sambu's counterpart currently,
Yes.
Joseph Malanji. So you, my counterpart,
Introduce me well.
is my counterpart, Sarah Chanda Muvanga.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Precious.
These
same three names. Sarah.
I know where you got it from. I mean, look at me. So.
From who? From Precious
Mzea Sakaleji. So you get it?
Are you going to add another name?
Don't get it. Well, so how has been your week?
It has been okay. It has been yours.
My week has been busy, very busy week, but we thank God that we managed to pull through. The other day, I left my phone number on my door because I was told the people for census passed in my yard, and we have quite a number of houses. I think about more than 7. There are a lot of houses in our yard. I haven't been communicated.
But you left your number.
Yes, they haven't communicated. I haven't been contacted.
Okay, one thing that
I think you said you're trying to get the information because a lot of people went home.
Still, you know, they'll still come back to your place because they're using a Google. They're using a certain map to locate people at certain place at
certain points.
Yes,
but how there's a software they're using.
There's a software that they're using. So I think they'll come back. They're still in the field. So obviously,
I'm hoping they can do like an extension or something, because I don't think I am the only one who has not been counted.
They've been told or requested to go back to all the places they
found there were no people. I think that's a good idea because
it's a good one
because
she's not a Zambian citizen. She's not yet counted. So.
But anyways, hope you have been contacted and you have been counted during the 2022 Census Housing and Population Exercise. And if you haven't been counted, I don't know if the people came back, if you got the advice that we were told to leave our numbers and when we'll be home, for those of us that are rarely home. And if you were counted, then good for you. If you haven't, what are you doing about it? And we're hoping that, as Sarah mentioned, that they're coming back to the places where they found there were no people until each one is counted, because the theme of all this year's 2022 census is leaving no one behind. Well, we have quite a number of stuff that caught our attention in the course of the week. One of them I feel that has dragged a lot is that of Mr. Boman Sambo and Joseph Malanji, back and forth with the courts and the states. And another thing that caught my attention was in yesterday's bulletin, where some woman's hand was amputated because of a fake
injection, a family planning
injection. Now I'm thinking, how did it get to that point? How was it fake?
Yeah, looking at the other statement that I
said. If it was, I would love to listen to the story. If it was wrong injection, maybe it must have been a mix-up, but fake, that's actually causing
poison again.
Exactly. But anyways, she's planning to sue. She's demanding for justice, actually. So I'm thinking there's some courts that will be done and some lawyers being called and stuff like that. But anyways, those are just some of the stories that caught our attention in the course of the week. And also another one is, I don't know if it's just me, but I've noticed that the story of suicide is actually escalating.
Yes.
And we're hoping that something can be done about it. I wish Leander was here so that we can just do more sensitization about mental health and how you can actually notice such symptoms from someone who is suicidal, either those that are showing signs and those that are not. But there's certain signs that you can pick up from those that are suicidal, just from the way they talk and from the way they do their day-to-day errands. So, but anyways, remember that you can get in touch with us with the numbers scrolling on the screen. If there's any story that caught your attention in the course of the week and you would love to talk about it. Would love to hear it as well. But right about now, let's quickly get into our first conversation of the day, which is the health talk.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Ma Asambang from the Medical Women's Association of Zambia. Today I'll be discussing hepatitis B. Hepatitis B is a global health concern because millions of people die from it. And actually, in reference to Zambia, it has affected many, especially adults who have been born with parents who have been diagnosed with hepatitis B. Now, hepatitis B is a virus that causes an infection to the liver. What happens is the liver's function becomes compromised. You may ask, how so? Well, the liver is responsible for digestion. For example, when you take that tablet of Panadol, your liver is responsible for breaking it down. Perhaps you may even take food. Well, your liver also has a role to play. Perhaps you may also take alcohol. Now that is where your liver dysfunction may become worse. With hepatitis B, it is progressive. What I mean by that is sometimes you may not present with a symptom nor a sign. And it may come as a surprise when you go to the clinic and get diagnosed with hepatitis B. Unlike HIV, hepatitis B requires for a constant follow-up, and it also depends on the case that is presented before us. There are several causes of hepatitis, I might add. And before I delve deeper into hepatitis B, please note that there are 5 types. Aside from hepatitis B, there is A, C, D, and E. Now, you may ask what the difference is between all these types. When it comes to A and C, these are transmitted via fecal-oral route. That simply means that someone can acquire it from contaminated water or food. Now, when it comes to hepatitis B, D, and E, those are transmitted via blood. So for example, if someone has sex with someone who has hepatitis B without protection, without a vaccination, then their likelihood of acquiring hepatitis B is very high. Now, speaking back on transmission, aside from sexual intercourse, it is possible to acquire it from an infected needle, syringe, or any sharp object. And so you may find that someone who is a drug user may present with hepatitis B because the virus thrives for approximately 7 days. So it is unlike HIV, whereby the exposure may be a lot less. However, needless to say, it is possible to get the hepatitis B virus via blood. Also to mention, it can be transmitted from mother to child. And so if a mother who presents with hepatitis B does not know that she is positive and her child is not vaccinated, then the likelihood of the baby having hepatitis B is very high. Facts have shown that hepatitis B presents in adults who were perinatally or who had the virus transmitted to them during birth is very high, as opposed to children who had their parents tested and who received the vaccination. It is of note that it can present during adulthood. When it does present during adult, monitoring is necessary. Now, when it comes to hepatitis B, you need to ensure that you obtain the necessary care, which includes diagnosis. It includes having your liver function tested. It includes knowing your hemogram, or in simple terms, your hemoglobin, your platelet count, having an ultrasound done to ensure that your liver is not injured. We also have a fibroscan done for our patients. And so, as I said, hepatitis B cases are unique. There is no one fits all. It is of note that hepatitis B is not curable, but treatable. Studies have shown that a few patients present with a negative hepatitis B test and have an undetectable viral load. However, this does not mean that it cannot present once again. Why do I say so? Because it is possible to be exposed to the virus again. Hence, hepatitis B is not curable. For the most part, it is treatable. It is also of note that hepatitis B can be protected, or rather, prevented against. How so? Via vaccination. And as I mentioned, it is possible for a baby to have the virus if they are not protected within 24 hours. Thank you so much for listening. Once again, I'm Dr. Asambang from the Medical Women's Association of Zambia. Until tomorrow.
Welcome back. Sarah, health tip for the day?
I hope it's just well clear to all the viewers concerning the hepatitis B. Yeah, it affects mostly, it's a condition that affects mostly the lungs, not really the liver. So if at all you take what we were advised by the doctor, it will really benefit you and I to stay away or...
Stay away.
Yeah.
Aware or away. It's actually non-curable. So, and there are people that don't show signs.
Yes, there are people that don't show signs.
You need constant checkups. That's why it's important sometimes to do just a full body checkup to see how your body is doing and what adjustments you need to make concerning your diet, and actually making sure that you eat nutritious foods. My health tip for the day is just water. Drink a lot of water. I have noticed half of my friends have been complaining of headaches. And the first question I ask someone who complains about having a headache is, how many liters of water have you drunk today? Or how many liters of water did you drink yesterday? And usually what I get is a pause, like, I actually haven't drunk water today. Sure, like, how do you manage? Sometimes I feel like I'm not okunuina. What's thirst in Bemba? Thirst.
Chilak.
Don't forget like like in the morning I didn't drink my water in the morning, but yeah, so just drink a lot of water, a lot of water. Drink a lot of water. Drink your water because it's getting hot. Your body is losing water through sweat because of the hot season. Summer is here, so you are dehydrating yourself. You might actually have issues. One of them might be migraines, one of them might be dry lips, one of them might be dry skin. One way to know if you have actually enough water in your system is, like Sarah mentioned the last time, is when you go to the restroom and your pee has a certain color. When it's dark in color, it can either be a disease or that you're lacking water in your system. So drink a lot of water. Yes. So now let's quickly get to our money market and see how the stock exchange rate looks like as of today. So the United States dollar is buying at 15 kwacha point 15 ngwe and selling at 15 kwacha point 18 ngwe. The euro is buying at 15 kwacha point 45 ngwe and selling at 15 kwacha point 75 ngwe. And the Great British Pound is buying at 17 kwacha point 65 ngwe and selling at 18 kwacha. South African Rand is buying at 88 ngwe and selling at 89 ngwe. So it's actually dropped.
Yeah, it has dropped.
South African Rand has dropped. The last I checked, it was at 98.
98, yeah.
I'd like to know how, before I embarrass myself. Pula.
Botswana, yeah.
Yes, I would love to know how the pula is doing with the market, because the last I checked, it was like 1 kwacha, yes, 1 kwacha something. So if I had like 500 pula, which was amounting to 4 something. So I would love to know how I think we'll add it on the stock exchange.
Oh yeah, this
probably next week.
Yeah,
we'll see how we'll work around with the boys. But anyways, that's what we had for you. Let's quickly get into zooming into the headlines. I don't even know which story to start with. I would love to talk about Boman Nsambo and Mr. Malanji and the court ruling of them actually not suggesting. They applied that the ECZ should actually hold new nominations. But from what I understand, holding new nominations means that all those that filed in their nominations need to do it again, which means they need to pay again.
Oh, yeah.
So, and also, I think there was an update of an independent candidate actually withdrawing from one of the elections. I'm not sure if it's Kabushi or Kwacha. And I just need to do my research. PF were victorious in one by-election that passed just a few days ago.
Yes.
So I feel current affairs currently is just Boman Nsambo and Malanji. Everybody's talking about them. So now we're waiting to see, are we going to have new nominations? Because we had elections that were supposed to be scheduled. I think that was on the 15th of September. But due to what was happening between Mr. Malanji and Boman Nsambo, apparently we might actually have filing in. I don't know if there's a word like that, like new nominations for the election. So yeah, those are some of the stories that have been trending currently. But let's quickly get into a woman who is demanding for justice because she was her hand was amputated due to fake family planning injection, and then we'll unfold the rest of the current affairs stories.
Nancy Musonda was a bubbly woman and happily married with 5 children, with the youngest being 11 months old. She ran a number of businesses, among them a bottle store, and would travel other towns to sell second-hand clothes and fish. She is no longer doing her businesses as she emerges from her mother's house in John Lane compound after she was discharged from hospital on Saturday. She has lost weight and painfully recalls what happened on August 11, 2022, when she was at a bottle store in Chazanga compound. She recollects that some women in the area had recommended to her a self-proclaimed doctor who had been helping a lot of women and girls to avoid conceiving through contraceptives.
Na bwana wafunza mungapezeke na family planning ya 3 months ate nilinayo nizingati 20 kwacha au bwana munira seko ndemwena ngenena na beve mushopu pamena ngena na beve mushopu short time na bora banuza na bwera short time bangena nishina ma customers babiri mushopu bana bwana shibafakira tu munkwala musirinji so pamena banangena mushopu muja benzana na bwana tambika kwanja kutiva nirase so uja customer na bwa bafunsa kutina nga munkwala mene mufuno balasa ni munkwala bwanji babwa akambati uyu munkwala kuli munkwala wamena pala nisako nobolo yankati ifa pala na chabe.
The 20 kwacha she paid the imposter doctor cost her hand as it gradually started to waste away.
Pamena pajapeba na nirasa pajapa kwanja babwa papompeka papanga kwatira ikapute chinabwa cha pompeka che chikuru cha laundi nifika chepa kliniki cha polika pajapa mecha polika chezo chosa va green vonunka nde mwana wana nilembera emergency Kanyama hospital Kanyama hospital baenda mukunifinako banifinako pa Wednesday apo. After banifinako babola kamba tukabwere pa Thursday tikabwete kakirina na futi. Ninaenda pa Thursday. Naenda pa Thursday bakirinako nabwerera ku nyumba stupeni sienze kusira.
She has wondered why the imposter has remained at Chazanga police station when he is supposed to be held in a prison.
Zapempache government initandizire ine mwenza sungira bana banga bakuma skulu bali na pama private sinizi bakutinza basunga bwanji nipempa kuli ba government banitandizire ine then uja muntu ine niganiza chamangiwe chifukwa ananipaya.
Her brother suspects that his sister was administered poison because her 11-month-old child almost died after being breastfed.
Kali panchita imwe ine omwana wakwe uyo oli mwipwa kulini alisa onka kuibere ili waonkele kuibere omwana alisa kwatto obwafya amba nokula poromya echalengere nabafyasha abana kashikushito mukakano kumunuisha.
Her mother has never recovered from having a breadwinner disabled and no longer providing for the family.
Nilipenda poka tabana navakuja kwakuti nimpase kuno kwacha kulipi ndiwa menenzo nisunga ndiwa menasunga na bana asunga na bafana bake inanipa ila mwana.
Nancy has left a matrimonial home in Garden House to recover at her mother's house. There are a number of self-proclaimed doctors in most densely populated neighborhoods of Lusaka. They claim to be specialists in pregnancy-related issues such as illegal abortions and curing sexually transmitted diseases, among others, using fake medicines. Frequent and random cleanups by authorities, especially in chemists, whose majority are operating illegally, will go a long way in avoiding the story of Nancy repeating itself. It's a painful lesson for all and Sundari. Tito Kalama, Camnet News.
No, that's
Quite a touching story.
No, you know, I don't know how to. It's giving me mixed emotions. It's a sad, very, very sad story. But honestly speaking, I'm not being judgmental or anything.
Yeah.
I feel there's certain things that no matter how desperate you are,
It's
you
very
don't
just
buy from the counter.
True.
You don't.
You don't.
You don't buy from the counter.
Because I think that's more like self-prescription.
Exactly, that's the same thing as self-prescription. Mama come that you understand now that I come to Balian that no panadol.
Yeah, true.
Or not the mixed panadol. No.
But we don't blame her on that. But again, she's the one who brought out the decision.
And also, medicine that's already in the in the syringe.
That's very dangerous because you don't know what he withdrew or what he got.
That man needs to be arrested.
He needs to be arrested because she was expecting that she'll be given the same injection, which is the family planning injection. But the end results were she got something else.
The part where she was injected started rotting.
Yeah, it started rotting.
It's the whole hand.
And she said it's also
left, right.
Cool left.
And the left side, that's where the heart is. So how sure are we the heart is safe at this point, looking at her situation? You know, it's really sad.
It's really sad.
It's really sad. I just... Because don't compromise on medication. That's one thing you shouldn't compromise on. You know, even that's what I'm saying. At the beginning, when I was talking about the story catching my attention, I was thinking maybe she actually went to the hospital, and then maybe a nurse. You know, we have new recruits and stuff like that. There are those things, but that's not acceptable. So I was thinking maybe I pay to her wrong. But
I'm sure
fake. That's fake.
And the charge is 20 kwacha, so
cheap is actually expensive.
It's very expensive.
How much it has costed us.
So it is better if at all you're trying to do something. It's better just go to the clinic. If you're not feeling too well, just go to the clinic or any health clinic.
I can't even say hope she gets better because that's an aunt that has been lost and she's got kids and stuff like that. And we're hoping that justice will actually prevail because honestly speaking, I feel she's not the only one that has, it's just that her cases to the extreme, but I feel she's not the only one that has been a victim of such health practitioners that own pharmacies or chemistries, and then they're trying to make a living out of the people and patronize the community and citizens. Women are so vulnerable because even the Bible says it. Women are the weaker vessel. So we're just hoping that justice prevails with the woman. But anyways, if you have any contributions and views, all you need to do is just call us on the numbers scrolling on the screen, or just hit us up from Facebook. Right about now, let's just take a quick short break, and then we'll join you with the rest of the stories, zooming into the headlines on the other side.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Camnet Stars Football Club, popularly known as the local national team, will this Sunday, 18th September 2022, host Sebo Bulls. Venue, Kablonga Boys Secondary School. Time, 15 hours. Come and watch the team born for greatness. Camnet Stars, your champions of today and tomorrow.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Well, welcome back from that short break that we had. You're still watching the Camnet Breakfast Show right here at Camnet TV, not just another channel. So if for contributions, you can call us on the screen, on the numbers that are scrolling on the screen. And if you want to participate in any comments, you can drop your comments on Facebook. Yeah, we had a very touching story.
We had to take a break.
Yes,
we needed a break.
We needed to breathe.
And today's stories are actually, we've just decided to gather stories that caught our attention in the course of the week.
Yeah. Stories and the community that
the community and what has been happening around us. Another one is that of parents that have actually abandoned their children, not because
they were unable maybe to just because they love
special privilege. Yes. They spend nights and days and nights in clubs, bars. They don't go home. Children are starving. So it took actually an activist to come through and get in touch with us just to let us know what has been happening to the kids. And one of the child actually between the age of 5 and 6 was because they don't have any care for their parents. Because if at all the mother is found home with the children, you'll be like, no, don't go there, stay home. So that is
it's not only them. We can find so many stories of the same people in such a situation.
There are quite a number.
Yes. They would leave their children home.
Now my question is for the fact that they have the money to drink alcohol, which means they can have the money to take care of the kids. So it's not like they can't provide for the children.
Yeah, they're able to provide.
That's just a habit that they have. They're never home. They're always...
They want to satisfy themselves, not minding the people, the children they've brought here on
They
earth.
have relatives.
Barakwat, you know, can you depend on a relative? Or relatives
Anyway, Sarah, before they be homeless for that statement, let's take a look at this story and then we'll unfold it on the other side.
Alcohol abuse is on the rise in Zambia, according to the World Health Organization, with 76% of men and 33% of women estimated to be abusing alcohol. This vice has, however, led to 2 children of Kanyama constituency being neglected after their parents allegedly spent their days in bars, leaving the children roaming about begging for food. One of the children, identified as Violet Sakala, suspected to be around 6 years old, was on Wednesday, 14 September 2022, beaten by a dog within the community as she was roaming about, and was only taken by well-wishers to a local clinic within the community. The said girl, along with her elder brother, suspected to be around 9 years old, were spotted by human rights activists within the community, Francis Kamwena, who says the children need urgent help.
I've just heard this child screaming outside behind my servant quarter. That's how I came out and tried to find out what's happening, and just to find that the dog has beaten this child. And then on the way, I tried to chase the dog. It was still following the child when she was lying down. That's how the dog ran away. Then I tried to go to see the owners of the dog. The owner of the dog, as the owner of the house, didn't want to cooperate with me. I also tried to search for the child where she stays. She told me that the father and the mother, they are most of the time found in drinking places, so she can't know where they are.
Meanwhile, non-governmental gender organizations coordinating council NGOCC Executive Director Ann Anamela says the organization has taken interest in the matter.
As NGOCC, we take great interest in the plight of any child, and especially girl children that may be in an unsafe place. So what we would do is, working together with our member organizations that are experts in this field, try and see how we can come to the rescue of this girl in some way or the other. There are safe houses. There is also a possibility of connecting possibly to the Ministry of Community Development, because that also is part of their role. So we really have taken keen interest in this story and we'll be following it up.
We will continue to follow the story until the children get the necessary help. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yes, madam, good morning.
How are you today?
Thank you.
Who are we talking to and where are you calling us from? Hey, Vas Precious, you have abandoned us. Good to hear from you. Where have you been?
Thank you. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Go ahead. Bandeni.
Yes. Number one, I want to competition in our position. Number 2, then fertilizer obakamu okutoka oyo balera abantu tebakifetilizer itwalibesha by 250 noma fertilizer yosta abantu nomwayo mubashikisha fertilizer 1 penny 2 na 1 penny 1 so abantu balekanga fertilizer ya 250 then nesa kuma branch my mukusupamira ndelomba government ya Newton amapa bafumye mu market like what I was saying sheke ya chocolate market utake market chamboni market na katele market different pika mu market ya wama mwe watu wengi twayashta iki hapo ya emwe shiko wano na market linge ile mke ya kula leo mwe mka yishi acha hapo so please tell mbo like ufunyanyo.
Oh, we've lost him.
Yeah, we've lost him.
He's mentioned quite a number of
things,
of things, his concerns, and one that caught my attention is his last point before we actually lost him, that of having a lot of bars in markets. We ran a story, I think that was a week or 2 weeks ago, where the marketeers were complaining about how dirty the markets have become because of the bars around. You know, when someone is drunk, they're not thinking straight. And also, they suspected the guys that drink from certain areas, especially in the markets, don't eat. So they're eating on an empty stomach, and that actually had been causing or has been causing death.
Yeah,
I remember them mentioned two or three different marketeers that were interviewed mentioned to say in a day, 2 people will actually be taken to the mortuary because they'll be found dead.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be found dead because they're drinking alcohol without
having anything.
Having anything without eating, which is very, very bad, because if you're drinking every day and you're not eating, your body becomes quite weak. So we're hoping that concern can actually be put into consideration, because it's not just Kitwe. Even in Lusaka, if you go to places like Soweto Market, there's a certain area around Soweto Market where there are bars everywhere.
You know, it's
shops that are supposed to be for food or clothes and stuff. They're bars, but they're making their money. But
they're making money. But again, you know, there are people who are very uncomfortable to get something in a shop where they're selling alcohol.
And also, I get your point. And also, Sarah, I feel like half of these, you know, when you're making a market, you're making shops and they're conducive places, and the restrooms are at a certain area, and there are places where when it's for a shop, maybe the restroom can be like from here, like where we are, up to our reception. The distance is okay because that's for normal people. But then if you're looking at a place where they're drunkards, they'll just go at a nearby corner and just help themselves out. So I feel that concern is all the points are great points, and it's a great concern from Bashi Precious is usually a regular caller. And also he mentioned something about allowing Mr. Bowman Sambo and Mr. Malanji to stand in the respective constituencies, which is Kabushi and Kwacha constituency, and also he's talked about the former head of state and the current. Remember that you can also come to you and tell us your view and your opinions on any topic that caught your attention in the course of a week or in the month, or something that has been on your mind of late and you would feel that it needs attention. So now quickly, we were just we are zooming into the headlines and seeing the stories that caught our attention in the course of the week. Next is that of a man that committed suicide after axing his wife and leaving her for dead a day after he drank unknown poisonous substances, and he died while his wife is unconscious at the University Teaching Hospital. So let's take a look at the story.
Karo Muma of Mkushi District has been admitted at the University Teaching Hospitals since August 12, 2022. She is in G12 female ward, where she is nursing head and arm injuries as a result of being beaten by her husband on the fateful night of August 11 while at home. Her husband is believed to have used an axe and a hot iron bar to inflict her with life-threatening injuries. She had been asking why her husband had not come to visit her from the time she was admitted before she stopped speaking. On the advice of medical personnel, she has not been told that her husband, Charles Wamunyima, who had been working as a teacher at Tazara Primary School, had committed suicide after beating his wife, fearing that she had died. His body was discovered in the bush a day later after he allegedly consumed an unknown poisonous substance. Luckily, she survived the brutal attack with broken fingers, sliced ear, and a crushed skull. Her cousin traveled from Luano district to be beside her, but only has scanty information on what transpired.
Okay, they used to have misunderstanding as just the husband and the wife. Then from there, we didn't know what inspired for them to reach that extent. The injury is very deep. Yesterday I was told that one of the bone was removed from the head, yes. The hand, I was told that these fingers were cut, so they are trying to see if they will join. If it has failed, then they had to put the metals.
Her doctors are not sure if she will ever lead a normal life again following head surgery where a cracked bone was removed. UTH Public Relations Manager Natalie Mashikolo has been briefed by medical personnel that their patient will recover in time following the extent of her injuries.
The story behind her is that she was actually a victim of GBV, gender-based violence, and she was actually beaten by her husband after an argument. And in the process of her being beaten, she was actually being beaten with an axe. And the story, what we have on the ground from the family is that she was being beaten from 05 up to 19 hours. And after he hit her in the head, and then he also hit one of her ears, and it had a little, it like came out a bit, but the doctors managed to sew it back. And then she fell to the ground. When she fell to the ground, he also got a hot iron bar and actually pushed it on her left arm. And she lost consciousness, she lost a lot of blood, and after that he ran away, went into the bush, and the following day they found that he had died because he consumed some poisonous substance.
The ugly head of gender-based violence has continued to rear its ugly head despite several campaigns and sensitization messages. Many a woman have been suffering in silence at the merciless and brutal hands of their husbands, and this strange phenomenon has led to deaths. Zambia Police GBV statistics indicates that a total of 7,589 cases of GBV were reported countrywide in the second quarter of 2022 compared to 6,148 GBV cases reported in the second quarter of 2021. Tito Kalama, Camnet News.
I think on this one, we shouldn't blame husbands.
Marry your best friend.
Just marry your best friend. Your best friend is everything. Marry your best marriage sometimes, one day.
Marriage is a blessing from God.
It is.
And
but again,
I feel you shouldn't. We're not saying marriage is fairy tale. I'm not married yet. Don't come at me with
can't say anything,
but still, we can't say much, but
we've been like we don't have the experience. We don't have the experience, Precious, but I believe like we've visited people maybe who are married. We've stayed with people who are in marriage, you know. We've seen we've seen those challenges time after time. But still, I think there is a certain way you can just reconcile with your partner rather than you trying to bring up something that's really can affect you and them, you know, like beating up somebody to that extent.
I'm sure there's someone who's just watching and saying, these kids don't know what they're talking about.
Oh, but
can't say much, but don't get married anytime soon just because you've seen weddings around. Take your time, otherwise.
I take that advice. I take it.
Take your time. Don't rush these things.
Marriage.
God's time is the best. Marriage is a blessing from God, and they even say, "He who finds a wife
finds a good thing."
Finds a good thing.
But again, that good thing, we start hitting it. Oh, okay, now but it's not.
it's gotten to your heart.
It has gotten to
but we're just praying that you have a successful marriage.
Yes,
if
that's
you're married.
our prayer.
And if there are any marital disputes, we can't say much because...
And one thing again, people should consider, when you have that period to know your partner, that's the same period you can decide. If I okay, let me just...
I'm not talking from experience, but people can pretend. You remember those old Nigerian movies? I don't know about the now Nigerian movies. Well, I watched the comedy ones, but those old Nigerian movies where they used to literally tell you a story of what happens in certain houses and how certain families live.
Yeah.
Those things happen. There are people that can pretend during a relationship. You're not pretends you. You're not with the person half the time. Just on Saturdays after movie, you go your way, he goes his way. You see each other after 2 weeks, you see each other after a month. You can't, well, you're getting to know the person, but you can't fully know the person. You get to know the actual person in the house when you say it. But I'm sure there's some signs where you're dating and this one is abusive. But 12 tolerance. It's how we've been taught to be submissive, but
I'm really...
Let's skip. We can't talk about this, but we've spoken quite a lot. But we're just hoping if there are marital disputes, especially young couples. I remember there was a year, I'm not really sure what year it was, but I think it was between 2018 and 2021. There was a report of a high number of divorce cases, the shortest being 24 hours, and there were quite a number. So don't. This is from my fellow youths. Okay, don't get married because you've seen your neighbor getting married, you've seen your friend getting married, and then you pressure this guy into marrying you. At the end of the day, marriage is a long lifetime commitment. It's not like these parties we go to. You got 18 hours, 22 hours. You leave and go back to your parents' house or go to your house. No, this is you living with someone forever. So forever is a long time to be unhappy. So don't rush things. Advice from me and to my fellow young human beings. But
that's
we're going to get married.
We'll
get in there.
I will get in there. I watched a certain video on TikTok. Everybody has been
carry me, they go.
Carry me, they go. Jehovah, carry me, they go. My husband, we are going to Baba, carry me, they go. Go.
But anyways, those are some of the stories that caught our attention in the course of the week. And then our last one is very sad, actually. A man that was found hanging on a bridge with his jean trousers. They didn't know what caused his death. Like we mentioned, there's been a rise on suicide cases. I think last week we were just talking about one.
Yeah, we did.
And the funny part is that this one was also 22 years old. So I'm trying not to overthink things, but let's take a look at the story.
vakapokora mubore varamba tatuke motokara inotura muchitabu timuntoiri murabora we novakapokora muvikire muzezo motokara novari vachihuna kavari vachihuna mbomubwe nyambo mubwe hatuma 50 ngwe nomwariko kada nomwari sikiti kwava accident muratichana but muntu warisina ngoi nomwe yati turachitabu tino chindi nzino mutibore mutupe chindi twagomba novantu vamwani.
Investigations were instituted to actually know what transpired and what really caused him to do that. Or maybe someone did it, or maybe he did it himself. And I've been seeing quite a number. There was another one which should be in Kalingalinga or Mtendero, where a child,
she hanged herself. No, I don't think so. She hanged herself
because the distance from the ground and her feet. And the chitenge, how it was tied and stuff like that.
A child can do
but anyway, you don't know kids. We can't say much because we haven't heard or gotten a feedback of what really transpired. But the story was that she was playing with the friends, and then before they know it, the friends were running back to say, no, our friend this side. But anyways, another story, and this is an advice to entrepreneurs, those that own small businesses, and you think that it's not necessary to make sure that you have insurance for your goods and services. This is actually a wake-up call for you to insure your goods and services in case of fire or stealing or robbery. You make sure that you insure your goods and services. This is for entrepreneurs, either small or big businesses. Insurance is very important. So we have a story of a shop that deals with electrical appliances. They repair phones, TVs, fridges, radio cassettes and stuff like that. But then it caught fire, and half of the things in the shops were burnt to ashes. Here's the story.
The destruction that fire brings upon mankind is unimaginable, as it deprives the people of their livelihoods. This is TS Market in Lusaka's Chawama constituency in John Howard compound, dominated by bars. But this is a story for another day. In the early hours of Monday, 12 September 2022, people were greeted by the smoke and flames coming from the market area. Quick response from the fire brigade prevented the inferno from spreading to other shops. The most unfortunate man, who was traumatized, could not speak to the media on the fire incident, which has taken away his source of livelihood. Some eyewitnesses shared with Camnet News what transpired.
Not knowing the cause of the fire initially, but we came to dispose it off, but it was automatically, we can't destroy it unless fire brigade came through. Yeah, like that. So we tried to withdraw the things in here, which wasn't even capable of us as men. Unless the police came through, they can't as well. Different department in. Yeah. So fire brigade we called 911. Is it like that? So we did it.
Thank the fire brigade of the job which they did, because if it wasn't them coming promptly, a lot of shops have been damaged.
Others say the affected person must be helped with capital.
Government wafueko mwapia fintu fya bene so wazawavota mwenze mafoni, maplasma, matv chanchani so zapempa ovatanzirako vavatandizireko mwamvera so that chitiziva 40 kwani achokera.
Meanwhile, Chawama Ward 3 Councillor Ponsiro Piri, who visited the scene, regrets the incident and shared that the affected people can only be assisted under the Constituency Development Fund CDF on the component of empowerment, knowing how hard the process is. That may not materialize anytime soon. Mr. Piri hinted that small and medium enterprises need to consider investing in insurance to remain afloat in an event of a calamity.
Everything has been gutted, and the only thing that we are waiting for is to establish the cause of fire so that we can avoid the future occurrence of such calamity. Second, it's just unfortunate that maybe as business people we're not informed, and we don't have that information that we need to ensure our shops, our businesses. In an event that such a thing happens, I think that's when we realize the need of insuring the things. It's unfortunate that there was nothing that could have been salvaged. I know quite a number of people had brought in some television sets and any other appliances, which I'm sure at some point you will need to compensate. But we are just appealing to those people that they should be sympathetic with him and try to see how best they could help him.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Well, that's what we have on the other headline that we've just viewed there. It's quite touching, and I pray and hope that he can be helped out.
Small business, you insure it.
I'll insure
I'm
it.
sure there are some packages for those that own small businesses.
Yes, there is, but I think...
how much is insurance per month? I don't think it can be more than...
I think with small entrepreneurs, I don't think so it can be more than 500.
Yes, I feel like entrepreneurs have like a certain package that caters for your business.
Yeah, in case of anything.
I feel is affordable. in such instances. Now he has to deal with a mob. That's
Starting
actually a
from
mob.
scratch, sure. I just hope he can be helped.
Just ensure.
Yeah.
Ensure
so
your goods.
always remember
Ensure your
to
goods
ensure.
to avoid such. Anyway, I think we've come to the end of the show.
Yeah, I think before
it's
we
been
go,
quite, an update.
yeah, it has been.
Yeah.
And very catching headlines that we really had during the course of the week. But we just pray certain things should be considered and worked on, as the country. And those who are not yet
to be counted.
That's my point. Those have not yet been counted. So if somebody hasn't been counted, where should they go? Last time you emphasized on that.
I feel like they have a temporal figure. For example, if we stay in the same yard, and then they come to my house and you're not home, and they'll ask, who stays this side? How many are they? Would you happen to know? I feel like there's that alternative, just in case.
Yeah.
And I don't think knowing for the fact that they don't want to wake up and they are so. So I'm sure an update will come up. I'm sure we'll get an update from the census, Zambia statistician general. Statistician general.
I can't even mention that because don't proclaim the stats or whatever.
Statistician. Yes, I'm sure we'll get an update on that on the census and how it will go about it for those of us that haven't been counted. But we would love to say thank you for actually watching the breakfast show from the time it started up until now. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for the text messages.
Yes.
For the comments on Facebook, and also thank you, Sarah, for coming to you on set today.
Today. You really thought maybe I won't show up. Yeah, I'm a strong girl, no matter what.
Sarah.
Anyway, I think let me just take this opportunity before we go. I need to wish my two friends a happy birthday.
Oh.
The other one is a belated. She's not my friend. She's my former English teacher. Is it? Yeah. It was a birthday.
Teacher of English.
Yeah, teacher of English, of course. It was a birthday on the 11th of September. So I just want to wish her a happy belated birthday. May God bless you. Her name is Martha Piri.
May God bless you.
May God bless you. You know, you're very...
Oh, she's not taught you how to speak English like that. So I understand now. You did a very good job. You did a very good job, teacher.
You know, but still I'm working on it.
Who's the second person who's birthday?
Her name is Teresa. Yeah, she's
Teresa.
That's her name.
Birthday,
happy
Teresa.
birthday to you. She's the founder of Teresa's Heart Foundation.
Oh, she's into charity works.
Yeah, so happy birthday to you.
I think birthday present from me to her is an interview.
Oh, it's an interview.
Yeah,
I think you should also interview me one day, Precious.
From me to you, we actually have an interview to talk about your charity work and how you are helping out the vulnerable children in the community and the specific area that you're focused on. And also, happy birthday to you that's celebrating your birthday today.
Yeah.
Can you sing?
Yeah, I can sing.
Sing. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip hooray!
We call it a day.
Bye-bye.